Allie.
Hi, friends. How are you? Welcome back.
Thank you for welcoming me back. And I am so excited to be back. And I am
I missed
so,
you.
I miss you too. I'm so appreciative that you held down the fort for the past 3 episodes. I
You're
appreciate you, love
welcome.
you mucho. And thank you for letting me reset and get back. And yeah, thank you.
So, how was Carnival?
Carnival was amazing as always. Um, Having my kids there was tough, but I had a blast thanks to my cousins and all my family members. Um, I'll see you again in the next 10 years because I don't know, I can't keep up anymore with all the partying.
Listen, they party seriously. You see all the memes, all the photos, all everything.
Yes.
Everyone was talking about it. But no, you look like you had a really good time. The pictures were lovely. Thank you so much. And yeah, let's keep it moving. What's happening today?
So today's theme for our podcast is International Women's Day. So International Women's Day is a global day celebrated each year on March 8th to recognize the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. It's also called to action for gender equality and women's rights around the world.
I've been doing some like little background work on International Women's Day just as part of my job because I'm in the women's network team at work, and I have come across the fact that the theme for this year is give to gain. So we've kind of just been like doing all of our events around like giving knowledge, giving help to other females and stuff. It kind of just highlights the importance of generosity, support, collaboration, shared progress in advancing gender equality. So I think that was a good, solid theme for this year.
Yes.
And just the idea that, when people give their time, knowledge, resources, and encouragement to women and girls, that everybody enjoys the benefits in return. Um, and so, yeah, because we have so much to share as women, always, hence why we have a podcast, always sharing things. And I always mark International Women's, they always have a little badge, a little something. And, if there's a color theme or something, I'll wear it. So, no, I really do love this first week of March to celebrate International Women's Day. I think it's only fitting that Rena introduces our guest.
So I am super, super excited to introduce our guest. It's my auntie Reyna Joe. I was proudly named after her from my dad. I'll just introduce her a little bit. Reyna Joe studied journalism in the Netherlands, worked for 3 years in radio and television at Radio Netherlands, then 13 years in the news department at Curaçao, the national TV station in Curaçao. In 1989, she started her own marketing and advertising firm, Bright Ideas and Services, that she closed after 35 years. In 1997, she discovered the ancient life philosophy of feng shui. She needs to come to my house. She is the initiator and organizer of the annual female leadership conference in Curacao since 2004. The intention of these conferences is for women who have succeeded in life to be informed, uplifted, and celebrated. And I just want to say I attended one of those years ago, but it was amazing. It's just such an empowering feeling to be in a room with all these successful women. And so
Did
yeah,
you?
yes, I did. I got to go to one. We gotta go. We gotta go to one day.
Oh,
It's
lovely. Is it in
really,
Curacao?
it's in Curacao, and
Auntie
it's
Rana. Anyway, we'll beg you for
yeah.
another
We'll talk about that.
minute.
Um, so now I'll have Reyna Joe introduce herself and just tell us a little bit more of what she does and what International Women's Day means to her.
Hi, ladies, Malika and Reyna. I'm so happy that you invited me. And the most important thing is when we talk about International Women's Day, is that we have to remember that whatever we do, whatever we say, a lot has been said, a lot has been done, but we are very far away still from being accepted as women, accepted as professional women. And it's not only them, it's us too. So we ourselves must accept that we, by getting where we got, by having the support to get where we are, that we should be examples for other women, specifically for girls. And specifically when you have a daughter, I have a daughter and a granddaughter, that you have to be aware of the challenges in life. Not only the challenges, normal challenges men and women have, but when you are a successful woman, when you have studied and you had a career or you still have a career and you really work, give all what you have in you to this, that you have different challenges than when they are talking about International Women's Day. There are $zillion given to women who cannot provide for themselves. Women in communities, in countries where women, girls, are not getting the same respect as boys or men are getting. But when you are in the more developed world, when you are in our countries and you reach a specific level that you really worked very hard to reach, then it actually starts. No support from men, no support from women. The human emotions of jealousy, of envy, of you're allowed to be good, but not better than me. Those are the things that you need a different kind of support for. Because it's really a waste to let someone develop, pay for school, pay for tuition, pay for all the things that you have to pay for to get at a certain level, and then not being able to share it, as you were talking. Because when you are in a certain position, you are in the awesome position also to help others. But if you cannot do what you have to do, or do it the way it has to be done, what happens then is that you will lose, or that you have the great chance to lose what you worked for, but also the personal part, how we are stripping away the good things just for human emotions. So International Women's Day for me I have mixed feelings about it, because realize and see what happens. A lot of women will get chocolate and roses with no respect. So what happens on March 9? Are we going back to eat more chocolate and getting fatter, Or are we going to enjoy the benefits of having done so much to reach at a certain level? And a lot of people are complaining that we have to talk about all women. We are talking about all women because every woman, every girl has the opportunity to do what other successful women did. Go to school, work hard, get good marks, and achieve a title, a position, anything. So for me, International Women's Day, I always ask every year, what are we celebrating? I can buy my own chocolates and roses.
Wow, do you know what? Auntie Reyna, I can actually see why my Uncle Harry named my bestie after you. You're very, very strong, very no nonsense. I mean, what an introduction. I'm so like, what? I don't even know what to because it's true. Every time we're gonna be like, oh yeah, happy International Women's Day, and then what? March 9th, what are we doing? What's happening? It's so true. And this is like, wow. Yeah, I think it's kind of like shifted the narrative of our podcast today. I'm loving it. I have an initial question for you, if you don't mind. Can you tell us who are the women who have influenced you the most in your life and why?
I have two very powerful women in my life. My mother was a homemaker, but she was very, very, very strong. I mean, I still think about some of the opinions she had. And when you're young, you don't understand them. But when you grow older, you suddenly start realizing that these were tough life lessons. Okay? I grew up as the eldest of 8. I'm the first child of my parents. And the only message I had, I'm still thinking, when was it not true? But I always had the message, go to school, learn, get good marks, and succeed. That was the life message I had when I was growing up. I think all of us eight had the same message. And I remember how my mother asking about the strong, my mother was a very strong person, but her mother too. Her mother was also a very strong person that I cannot stop thinking sometimes about her. Because when I saw her, I saw strength. You know, a basic thing. She used to plant. So you get your food from around the house, you know. These are things that at this moment are being advertised. And I grew up with it. So when you think about what you saw, because it's not what people told you, because I also grew up with a lot of slogans and sayings of a lot of people that were named as important people. But the most important people in my life, the two women, were my mother and her mother. And later in life, I got some other older women that I dare to say were and are still my mentors in life. So it's actually, I try to tell the women around me that they have to be a role model. So many times they gave us so many sayings, so and so said so. But the real sayings are the ones that we grew up with. What we saw. The strengths and the weaknesses. Because we also have to accept that some weaknesses that we have come from the women, the women who either lost their power or didn't recognize their own power. Those are the weaknesses that we have to acknowledge too and learn from them.
Well, thank you so much. That's really good to know, because it's always, when people say your examples of strong women are like your mom or your granny and stuff, and then you just think, oh, that's like cliche, but it's not. Like, some people don't have those examples in their parents and their grandparents. I mean, I can't speak for my bestie, but I do know that for both of us, our mums and our grannies are those people, right, Renz? Am I speaking out of turn?
You are. Right.
I would say that for me, like, there's certain things that I picked up from my mom, picked up from my granny, that's shaped me. So with my granny, I would say that just like being quite like solid, quite entrepreneurial. Just like, for example, having this podcast, she would actually go out and do that kind of thing, right? That's like my granny, that kind of strong-willed woman, like no nonsense. Whereas my mom would say got that full on independence, quite good with money, just like, or organizing, even something simple as like, my mom has like the most amazing handwriting. I've got Ren's, no disrespect to you, I do like your handwriting, but my mom has lovely handwriting and I write just like my mom, just like that kind of, little things. So yeah, that's what I would say, the women who shaped me. What about you, Ren's?
I want to say the same. My mom is pretty much one of my influences in my life. I mean, she was kind of the head of household without being the head of household, because my dad retired, he just and did his own thing, entrepreneurial thing. He was still in charge, but my mom managed all the finances and got all the stuff done. I mean, I knew like I could get away with stuff with my dad that I couldn't get away with my mom, because she was pretty, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, good grades, go to school, pay attention, all of that stuff. Don't let anybody change your mind on what you're doing, and do what you want and be happy. And I always appreciate that from her, being such a strong force in my life. And as you said, like, there's people who don't have that, and we fail to realize that until we get older. Like, yeah, people don't have moms like that or any influences like that, and it's just sad.
Something that just came to mind, and I don't know if you agree with this, Auntie Reyna, that it's sometimes it's not all just about being like, okay, a go-getter, career this, career that. For example, my nanny made her soul recipes, which was a lady that my mom and granny got to look after me in Dominica when I was younger. She's passed now, but she was the most amazing cook, and she was very obviously she did all the house things. She was the nanny, right? So it's like, part of me growing up, when I moved away and I moved to the UK without her, obviously, couldn't put her in my suitcase, right? Like, I thought to myself, God, I want to learn to cook like how Liz used to cook. I want to learn to like do my hair, or like, how she used to iron the clothes, and just, I mean, that kind of homemaking stuff, which I feel like I'm quite good at being like a bit domesticated now. And I'm really proud of that.
Actually, we learn from seeing what our elders did. You don't
Yeah.
learn from, you don't really, when I think back, you don't really learn from reading about it or doing it. I mean, they still promote tutorials, but the best tutorials I had was looking at my parents, how they did things. You know, the other day I was working with, I needed someone to arrange something for me at the house. And the guy came, and then at a certain moment I was talking with him and telling him how to do things and so. I didn't know how to do the better technical parts, but I knew what had to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And then he looked at me, he said, you work like a man, because I was helping him. And I said, I walked with my father. I mean, I was first child, you know, and then whatever he was doing, I was around him. And that is when you realize that you learn from seeing how it is done, not being said how it's done, but seeing how things are done. And it works, it works, it works.
So we'll go into our next question, Auntie Reyna Joe. What do you think is one of the biggest challenges women face today, personally or professionally or both?
It's personal. So every woman, we are all programmed, and most women are programmed to be of service. We are programmed to assist, to help. Even when you have your degree and your diploma and your top position, a lot of women think that they should behave like men. We dress in coats. We have certain type of shoes, and we have to be in a certain way. First of all, to be accepted, and second, to really feel good about ourselves. So, the biggest challenge is ourselves. How do we look at the world, and how do we look at the world that doesn't love us? How do we look at the world that thinks that our behavior is not right? Like, I worked in my adult life with people who were trying to put me in my place because I was not behaving the way I should behave. But by behaving the way they want me to behave, I cannot do the things that I have to do. Because you cannot be of service and be a leader too. Okay? Sometimes you can, but most of the times it's not possible. And another thing is, when we say we have to look at ourselves, so how do I look at the world? Remember that the other person is also looking at the world they are programmed in. Meaning that when you work with men, sometimes they don't follow your orders because you don't have anything to tell them. When you work with women, they don't follow your orders because they think, why are you the one telling them what they have to do? So the problem is not them. The problem is you, and the challenge is in you. And by staying your course, by knowing yourself, by showing how you are, how you really are, and what you are delivering, you make them respect you. Because when people, especially with clients, if they pay for something, even though they have their programming and their things, if you deliver something they really want, really need, and really see the price that is being paid, you are saved and you are okay. So I always tell women, look at yourself first. Don't worry about what the world is saying, because if you work to get where you are, if you have a top position, if you are in a leadership position, it means that you did it alone. You didn't have other people doing it for you, and you continue on it. And when you know that you have done things alone, and you have done things good, and you have value, because that's the thing, your value counts at a certain moment, then you have done it. And what I avoid, or try to avoid, is having the situation that people say, oh, you were the only one. The women in the position of being the only are in a very tough position. Because being the only, you don't have support most of the times. And being the only, you are in a survival mode constantly because you need to keep your position.
That is so true. When I think about especially what you were saying. It's like it's a personal challenge, isn't it? It's not one size fits all. Because if I think back to when I was like trying to qualify as a solicitor, for example, in England, I used to go for jobs, but I was preyed on like, okay, yes, we'll take her on, but we won't pay her. So because of that, I had to go and do 2 jobs to pay my rent just because of being female. Because when I would ask my male counterparts, they were being paid, but I wouldn't. Like this little things like that, and it's like I couldn't stand up for myself because at the time I was too scared because I'm like I need this.
When I started to work at the television here on the island, I was the first journalist with a diploma. I had studied journalism. And I was asked to come and work here to upgrade the television station and so. So I had a very nice, when I was living in Holland still, I had a very nice conversation. There's someone, oh, you studied? And do you have a diploma? Oh, we need someone in our newsroom. Okay, I came. It took a few times, but to understand that the men working with me with no diploma I had 50% of the salary. So when I discovered that, I got so angry. I went to the then director there, and I told him, this is not fair. He answered me this. He said, you don't have a family. They have a family that they have to take care of. That is the answer that I got.
Oh, wow.
And that was also the seed for me to go start my own company later. It took a few years, but I did it later. But that is why I ask women, what are we celebrating on March 8th? Because a lot of educated women, a lot of women who made the effort, studying is not easy. It's a lot of effort. They accept things just to be in a key position, or just to, especially if you have a student loan that you have to pay it off. So you need whatever job to pay it off and so. So there's a lot of things. And don't forget, I keep repeating, there are $1 zillion being given to women who cannot help themselves in any way. But when you have a diploma, you reach a certain position, all the hands that were supporting you, back off.
Well, I just wanted to say, Auntie Reyna, you mentioned that you just who you want to be, and I've always marveled at her fashion sense. So she wears color, and when she walks into a room, Malika, you know she's there. And I love that. Like, kind of like
that.
I try to wear bright stuff, and when I do that, I remember her. It just always fascinates me that she's always so, like, she walks into the room with such confidence. And I'm like, some days I don't want to be that person, but I'm like, you have to be that person in order for people to realize that you are a force to reckon with. You're not playing any games. So I appreciate you always did that.
Thank
And
you.
you also said something about women. When you get to that phase, some women get jealous and they don't help each other. It feels like competition. And I don't know why, but I feel like we need to help. Like, there needs to be more help when you get to that level, that you help other women get to your level and be a part of your team and not underneath you. And it's discouraging sometimes because they, like you said, like, because you're in charge, you tell them to do something, they're like, well, who are you to tell me that? Instead of like trying to learn what they're supposed to do, and then eventually maybe they will become that person that tells somebody else what to do. So it's a challenge.
Well, let's hope that this year's theme of International Women's Day, which is give to gain, people will actually give to gain. Because honestly, when you give or when you teach something, you are really receiving, aren't you?
Yes, you are.
Thing is, we still have to accept and acknowledge that it is important to have an International Women's Day. It's still, despite what I said, it is important because we are working with women on different levels. So we need to empower the woman and the girls that need help, that need other kind of help, because depending on your level where you are in life, depends on what kind of support and need that you have. Some women need money to make their life comfortable. Some women need doors opening for them. Don't forget another very important thing that I have to say. The United Nations worked really hard, and there are a lot of countries that have where men and women doing the same job have the same salary. Not every country in the developed world supported it. The United States still didn't acknowledge that women and men should have the same salary for the same work. So we have to be aware that the higher level you get, your challenge changes, because first it was maybe that they have to help you pay books for school, but now they have to help you to pay your to get a house, to get a job, to get a car, to get the comforts in life because you worked for it. And women not supporting women are keeping these disadvantages. So as long as we understand that, we should look, as I always keep saying, look at ourselves. Am I helping another woman? Am I supporting another woman? Am I an obstruction in the life of another woman? We have to ask ourselves that and then decide what we want. If I want a better life for myself, for my daughter, for my granddaughter, and future great-granddaughters, I should help women at this moment in time.
Auntie Reyna, that actually leads us really nicely into our next question. How important are female friendships in your life, and how have they evolved over time?
Oh, I have a few of really great female friends. And I always tell women, and then they answer, no, women are not false with each other. I always tell women, whatever relationship you have in your life, if you have a boyfriend or a partner or a husband, never underestimate your friends, your girlfriends, because there is always, they are the ones keeping you up. They are the ones, your partners in crime, and not always a negative crime, but the good crimes too. They are the ones that you need. I was talking actually today with my husband about one of my great friends, and the two of us, when it is rain time, when we have rain, we also have some rivers and then you get some certain plants, and then me and she, we go, take the plants and so in the wild, and it may sound like something not so important, but for the two of us, the pleasure we have going to certain places. What plants are there now growing there because there's water? What can we collect? It's priceless. And I'm saying one of the things, but you also have the friends that you don't have to tell other your secrets. You don't have to go cry with each other, but you can just go take a coffee and sit with each other, enjoying the company of each other. Those are very, very, very important. Another thing is also, remember that you need people who behind your back will defend you. Whatever happens, whatever people are saying, because people say a lot of things about you because they don't know you, or they heard something from someone who hates you. So you need to have friends. I mean, I love my friends. I have some great female friends. And I know that I told one of them that whatever you do, I will not stop loving you. I will always be your friend. So we need to be aware. This is about being conscious about who you are, who we are, and why we are the person that we are in this lifetime.
As you said, they're the friends, girlfriends that you just have a coffee with, and I just like this podcast. It's my bestie for 30 years, and I feel like even longer.
You need besties. You need besties.
Yeah. I don't have a lot, but I have a few close friends that I know girlfriends that I can call, and they will be there to support. Just like you said, I have friends that say, "Oh, spring is coming. We're going to go to the the plant aisle. I need no more plants, but they'll go." it's nice. It's just different friends for different things. And so now we'll go into our last question. Reyna Jo, if you could give one piece of advice, I know you've given a lot to your younger self or young girls listening, what would it be?
First of all, trust yourself. Always trust yourself. Without knowing, you know. And the very important thing is choose the people you want closest to you. We always have to know that the people around us should also be to our service. So we should be able to benefit from having them in your life. If you have friends who you see, if you have people around you who you see, even if they are your family, even if they are your very close family, and their energy is not supporting you, is not making you better, you have to walk alone, walk away, walk alone.
We spoke about this. We spoke about this today, actually, Rens, didn't we?
Yes.
It can even just be family and stuff, and sometimes it's just not. They're not aligning,
Yes.
and you need to walk away. So that is so true. Obviously, for me personally, the thing that I have to say, like to share advice wise, is a lot of the problems that I feel like I've had in my life is because I've said yes to things that I should have said no to. And so I feel like my piece of advice for my younger self or any young people listening is, if you want to say no to something, just say no. You don't have to be a yes person. That's really, really important. These problems that I've had is because I'm there saying yes when I don't need to be saying yes. So that's the only thing for me.
In a more advanced observation, as a feng shui master, I also know we all have our destiny. Okay, so when you see someone in a very good position, it's not, I don't want to say luck, it has to do with your destiny. You are destined to be good. And some people are destined to have more challenges in life. So that is one of the things that I do, that I advise about, to look at your destiny. Because even whatever people are saying, your program, your religion, your whatever, if you know your destiny, you can make good decisions for yourself.
Thank you.
My advice would be take the chance, do it. Let nobody tell you no. I mean, Malika's like, she has to say no, but I feel like a lot of the things that I wish I had done is because of the fear of failing and the fear that other people judging me. And also some friends that I had would be like, oh, you want to do that? Especially people from back home. Like, it's crazy how they fear the unknown. So I would give the advice that do it. Do it in a realistic way, but do it. If your heart is set on it, do it. So, Auntie Manager, how do you plan on celebrating International Women's Day? Are you going to get chocolates and flowers?
I'm going to be a speaker in a women's event on Sunday morning. So that is what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to do anything special. I mean, of course, in preparation of our annual Female Leadership Conference, we're organizing the 23rd. I hope to see the two of you there this year. It's in June 26th. We are preparing for it. So I will have some publications. That is what I'm going to do. And of course, I'm sending the best wishes to every great woman all around us.
Oh, well, thank you, Auntie Reyna. It was really a pleasure to have you on today.
Thank you.
You started with a bang, you ended with a bang. It's been really lovely. And we will be coming to Curaçao very soon.
Yes.
Because we want to come to your functions in person. Rena's been already, but I've not been. So she's going to have to take me
I
there.
will send you all the information.
Wait.
She will.
No doubt, if before that I happen to do some sort of a cruise that stops in Curaçao, I'm going to be ringing you so you can pick me up from the port. That would be great. Thank you so much. We would like to wish all of the women in our lives and all of our listeners a very happy International Women's Day.
Yes.
When it comes on the 8th of March. May you be blessed. And also just like celebrate a woman in your life. Just, let somebody know, 2 or 3 people know, your mom or anybody, around you, somebody that you admire, your colleague at work, friend, you know, anyone that, you know, just wish them a genuine Happy International Women's Day this year. Sorry that our episode is a bit longer than usual, but we had a special lady all the way out of Curaçao. I mean, how often does that happen? It doesn't.
Not very
So,
often.
so excuse
Thanks
our
to the
extras.
lady.
Thank you. And Ren, thanks for being back. I'm very, very happy to have you back.
It's nice to be back.
In the meantime, you know where we are. We're on the YouTube. We're on the Spotify. We're on the Instagram, everywhere at Besties Abroadcast. Please subscribe. Please like. Please share. And next week, we're celebrating UK Mother's Day. So we're going to have a UK mom to come and speak to us. Because, you know, we're keeping it balanced. We have our US things and the UK things. So for some weird reason, I don't know, UK Mother's Day is the third Sunday in March. So we're going to do that. Okay. Thank you, guys. Appreciate
Bye,
you.
Molly. Bye, Auntie Rena Jo.
Bye-bye. Thank you.